Ja, jetzt, Mama, ja. More volume. No, okay. And I just moved to my terrace. Yeah, okay. Not bad, huh? Is it better? Yeah. Look, I'm painting. I hear the ocean like.
I see you very well. Do you see me well or not?
Yeah, I
You
see you.
frozen?
A little bit frozen, but always beautiful. So we start.
Earplug is out. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we start.
Good.
I start with
Let's
this. So
start.
let's just start in the beginning. Can you explain me
Yeah.
where's Zanzibar? So just short.
So Zanzibar is at the east coast of Africa. It's very close to Kenya. It's a neighbor country, and we are a bit above Madagascar. It's a very small island compared to Madagascar. We have 6 million people only. So half of Switzerland, let's say. And yeah, it's a very special time at the moment. I think many people left also the island because they went home for different reasons, for the corona, for the Ramadan, which is starting today. And we are a Muslim country. Zanzibar is Muslim. It's semi-autonomous from Tanzania. And we have most of the people who are working in the hotels are from the mainland. So because they're well trained, they have better universities, better schools. So I think it's, yeah, rather empty, this island at the moment. And we're still here.
Yeah, you're still here. Huh? So I was telling you that in Spain we have like 23,000 deaths and a lot of 224,000 infected almost. And you only had today, when I checked it, like 300 infected and 10 deaths. So I suppose this is a lack of testing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lack of everything. We don't have test kits, we don't have many masks, we don't have gloves. We have one machine on Zanzibar Island. So who gets that machine if we need? Maybe the president, and that's it. The first affected one was actually, funny wise, a minister from Zanzibar. She came back from England through Italy, so you can imagine, and refused in the beginning to go into quarantine. So that's why we have so many cases now, about 100 on the island itself, 300 in Tanzania in total, and 10 deaths, which is compared to Europe, of course, nothing. But if it's starting here, then we are in deep troubles. The mosques are still open, which is a scandal. I mean, this is the point to spread. I don't know why. Africa has always a bit the thinking, the more we hide, the better for the future, which is terrible because they are hurting themselves. They live in today and not for tomorrow. Future is far away for them. This is their mentality, their culture. What is today is okay. What is tomorrow, I don't care. And so the mosques are still open, and the boats from the mainland to here also, they're traveling still, which should have been closed down since a month's time. But as I said, Africa wants to go normal as possible, and to get the tourism, which is the main income from our country, back as soon as possible. That means flights welcome as soon the companies are coming. They don't have anything against that, which is probably not the best thing to do. We're going to have a second wave then. As Europe also is saying, if you're opening yourself now too early, you're going to have a second problem later on in a few months' time. And people are scared to travel. That's clear. So I don't know. There are three scenarios. One is the positive one, if we say, starting in autumn, normal life. The realistic one would be wintertime, beginning of next year, and the very pessimist is 2022. We will see.
So but how's the situation now? Is the school are closed? Can you go to the supermarket to only go to the supermarket and the people stay at home, or what?
We don't have a supermarket.
Yeah, okay, so to the market or whatever. The thing is, the people here in Spain, you can't go out. You can go to the pharmacy, to the supermarket, to the doctor, and that's it. The kids are inside almost for weeks. So I think I just wanted to know what is possible to do now for you and what is not possible.
We could still go and do whatever we want, which we're not doing. We're locking ourselves inside here, the hotel. If somebody comes from the outside, they have to wait in front of the gate. We're doing homeschooling since a month ago. The only person who is allowed to enter is the teacher at the moment. All other ones, they stay in front of the gate. The Maasais, which are our security people, they tell me who it is who's waiting in front of the gate. I'm going with the mask, with the gloves to give them whatever they need. It's a lot of government control at the moment. They're still asking how many people are you in here, who is here, which foreigners, and so on. Do you have a resident permit? Do you have work permit? All that, yeah. We have the controls. And if we need something, then we have delivery coming from the outside. They deposit it in front of the gate. The Maasais take it inside, all the food, the drinks. It's very complicated if you have to, everything coordinate by phone, basically. Yeah.
But the thing is, for example, the normal population, Nicole, can they go out or are they at home?
They can go out and they still do it, unfortunately. And there is in town, Stone Town is our capital town. There is a control in the streets. Every car which is passing, going out of Stone Town, is controlled by the police with the temperature. So they try that if somebody leaves the capital town to wherever onto the island, to minimize the spread on the island, at the police stations. And there are a lot of police stations, always. Even in the normal life, you get always stopped for controlling papers and who is in the car, what are you delivering, which material do you have with you, and so on. But now is also the temperature check. Yes.
So, but if you want to, you can go shopping, you can go out for everything, but they do a temperature check. But the children, do they have schools? No, it's closed in all this.
Well, the schools are closed very early. That was the first good step they did, but that's the only one. The only one. Otherwise, as I said, the mosques open, the shops open, the market's still running. It must be said, when they stop the boats from the mainland, then we have a bit of disaster because the food is coming from Tanzania to Zanzibar by boat. If that food is not coming anymore, we have basically only fish and bananas, a little bit rice, and that's it. We don't have vegetables, we don't have meat, there's not much. So it's a bit a hunger risk also. If they stop the boat, which they should, then we are really limited also with the basic needs. Yeah. This is.
But for example, that's why, and the people, do they have in Tanzania in general as well the 2 meters distance or masking or gloves or something or nothing?
They know about all those things. We did here in the village since a month ago, we give them every week disinfection products for free. The hotels bought that together. All the hotels in the same lagoon are spreading to every single household. Dettol, it's called. It's a disinfection product. We give them masks, the ones we buy from wherever we get it. This is a secret black market at the moment. We give them gloves if they do something like, on the market, in the shops. And every single shop, funny wise, that's really good. They made like a machine, very simple, wooden structure with a water tank, the soap, and you press it with your foot, like the old saw machines. Yeah. And then the soap comes out and the water comes out, and that every shop has that at the moment, which is great. But they still sit in the same dala. It's a pickup taxi, where they sit 10, 12 people, very narrow together. They still run the dalas to town and back. So it doesn't make sense. There's a lot of, yes, we know, and they are very scared, but to be consequent and to do really what they should, stay home, doesn't exist. Yeah, they still play football here on the beach every day.
So it will be maybe because I read that Africa's like weeks later coming all, and although they have more time to preparing themselves. But so you think that the numbers will arise, no?
The numbers will arise, and that's really the scary fact. If that will happen, then we are basically really in deep troubles. And that's why I think if the flights are starting in May, end of May, it's probably a good time to go to Europe, because Europe is back to normality, and here it's going to start a bit of disaster. And then we can come back when it's a bit more under control. But the worst scenario is that you will see dead people in the streets here, because they don't have homes. Some are really poor. Yeah. So you will see a lot. If that happens, then it's not nice.
Nicole, really I read that there are like currently hotels, but that people who are in them, they have to pay like $100 a night. So it's impossible to. Yeah. So how is the health system in or Zanzibar and Tanzania in general?
The public hospitals, they are for free for the locals, but they don't have anything. They have maybe some good doctors, but there's no medicine. The quarantine was for the tourists still arriving in Zanzibar in the beginning, from the mainland or with some flights who were still running. They put the tourists in that quarantine for 2 weeks, where they had to pay $100, which is not a lot in Zanzibar. Usually you pay around $200. That's the media price for hotels. It's more luxury section here. So those 2 weeks are over, of course. Yeah, most people, foreigners, tourists, they were flown out by the end of March, the latest. That was the last flight on the 29th. And since then, there are no flights, at least, which is good. Yeah. But the boat, as I said, still running from the mainland here. It has it good and it's bad, because we need the food coming from there, but the corona will also come with the food. So I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is, Zanzibar lives from also where all Africa lives now from. It's a boom, because booming sector for Africa, the tourism. But Zanzibar, I read that like there are like 70,000 jobs that are connected to tourism. So I suppose now you don't have tourists, no? Because the island is closed, isn't it?
There's zero tourism. Zero. It's also forbidden to make business, just the ones who were still open with the government for the quarantine. They had a license. But otherwise, of course, no. We can do, the only thing what we can do is take away. There are a lot of residents like me living here, being stuck or decided to be stuck here. And we are happy to get maybe a pizza from Baladin or a beer from here, to bring to other people. That's the only thing at the moment which is allowed to do is takeaway delivery. Yeah. And that's what we do. I mean,
so how
also
the
to keep
people
us a bit
survive?
busy.
For example, you don't have an income now, but the thing is, for you, what does it mean personally for you, and what does it mean for all the people who live there from tourism just now? How long will they should sustain the situation?
We are still paying all the staff. We paid them 1 month's leave, holidays, and now will be 1 month's minimum wage, the minimum salary. And then we will see what happens after those 2 months. Then it gets a bit difficult. We could, by law, we could not pay them, which I think is a no-go. As long we can pay, we will, because we still have profit from the 2 years that we're running now. Luckily, we have some cash also here. We don't have to go to the main capital town to the bank to get some money. Yeah, after 2 months, we will see the budget also for us, because we are like 4 people. The manager, the assistant manager, the chef, the food and beverage manager, its costs, they are also here and blocked. They have European salary standard.
But
So I don't know. We will
also
see
the
that.
people in the towns, I suppose they all maybe you pay your people, but I suppose a lot of
Exactly.
they don't pay. And
other ones are on zero immediately. They are on zero because most of the people don't pay anymore. And we are not buying also. That's very important. This is a fisherman's world, yeah? Well, the biggest income for the locals is the fish we are buying for the hotels. So nobody is buying fish now. And actually we are fishing ourselves at the moment to keep us busy. So they are on zero, but to be honest, also they can live with not much. They live with what they find themselves. It's octopus in the morning. All the women go out early at 7 to get the octopus. And that's from what they live, And then we still have, of course, flour. They can still do ugali, it's called. It's like polenta. Rice. We still have pasta. Pasta we can still buy, actually, funny wise, in the shops. So they can really, much better than the Europeans, live with nearly nothing, luckily, because they are used to that. Most of them, they don't have a regular salary, They live by the daily income.
my
And if
question
they
is
have a
also,
salary,
do you have do you think that the European face this type of crisis differently than the Africans in general? Maybe like more negative or more critical or more realistic?
once again, I didn't understand.
Do
Sorry.
you think that what differences do you notice in the way of dealing, for example, with a crisis like this, as a European or as a African? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, African is easy life. They take everything so slow, which is called pole pole. and that's their way. Hakuna Matata, no problems. Yeah, never. And if there is a problem, suddenly they are blocked, shocked and blocked. It's not a thinking for the future here at all. It's the thinking for the daily business, for the daily moment. Today, what's tomorrow, we don't care, unfortunately. And that's also, if they would have a salary, they would not put it by side for being safe for a crisis like this. They spend it immediately. I have money, so I buy. Why shouldn't? That's Africa. And with that mentality, unfortunately, yeah, you will never win. That's sad. Yeah, it's a question of education, and that's a big lack here.
But only maybe this is the one that attracts you, no? Being there, because it's also not very this rational, too heavy thinking. No?
Yeah. This is, of course, it's nice for us because it's back to the nature a little bit. Africans have time. This is nice. This is a luxury. And the Swiss people have the watch. This is always what I'm saying, What can you do with the watch when you have time here? And on top, that's another reason, to be barefoot all the time. This was my dream, to run around without shoes all day.
Yeah. Nicole, I have one question. So, do you think how do you see the future now for Africa? Do you think that all what happens in the other countries will come to Africa and worse because they are not so prepared, or do you think?
Let's hope it's not getting really, really worse. Let's hope. If that is the case, then we are safe. If it gets worse, then we have a big problem for years, probably. For years and years. And if they think in Europe they can try vaccines here in Africa, don't. It's a no-go to do that. Do it with the people who are already infected in your own country, the tests, not with African people, please. This is just a no-go.
Because they usually do it, or what? Why do you say it?
Yeah, of course. Africa has always been a field for testing. This time, no. This time, Africans now also woke up. They know what's going on, and they are protesting against that. And you can see it in the internet a lot. And that's right. It's not the way to do. It's not the way to do.
Nicole,
We are not a labo.
the last question is for me is, do you see some positive, constructive things of this crisis?
Yeah, maybe, as in Europe, you see, maybe we should be more, back to nature. We shouldn't take that stress anymore. We should not run so fast. And the same thing is here. They see probably in another way what's happening if there is no tourism now. In one way, we are the Muzungus, which are the white people in Africa. And it's always a bit a negative touch, the Muzungus. But now that the Muzungus are not here anymore, they see what that means. It is their daily life, their daily income, by side of fish, as I said. But otherwise, what would they do? This is the only income, is the tourism, 80%. So here they're learning, be respectful. Respect for all people who are coming to visit us here in Zanzibar, and the other way around. Tourists should respect the nature. We are collecting so much plastic bullshit every day at the beach, coming from the sea. Even today, this morning, I'm doing it every day. This has to stop. we have to stop to produce so much bullshit. Excuse me, my language. Yeah.
What did you learn positively from this?
Myself?
Yeah, yourself.
I learned a lot about myself, actually. You have a lot of time to think about yourself and what you do and what you want and who are you, and I think this is a good moment for everybody, huh? to to know yourself better. And I think, and I was always living like that every 7 to 10 years maximum, you should either change the location or the job or your partner. One of those three things. Every 7 to 10 years, it keeps you fit in your brain, and it keeps you fit as a human being.
You see me?
No.
No. No.
Okay, so we start again.